What's up, boys and girls? Today I'm going to show off this Pokemon Vintage White final boss. You might have to turn me up because my volume isn't always great. Anyways, we're jumping into this. Normally in White Black you fight Legendary here. In this game it's an unknown, which I got. That's great. And now that I got that, I get to battle N, who is one of the final bosses. Anyways, I'm going to try and explain why this is very intricate and very interesting, and hopefully you agree. So, this Venusaur has thick fat, half damage from fire and ice attacks. I'm going to use... But so it's solely to Psychic and to Air. So Jinx can kill it, but it has to use Psycho Boost. In this game, Psycho Boost is 140 power, but it has recoil attached. So it's going to chunk me out pretty low. Well, not that low. So, now Dragonite is in, and it must kill me with Wing Attack. So it's going to use that on my Rock Pokemon. And you might say I could have Ice Beamed it with Jinx, who's faster, but you'd be wrong because it has Multiscale, which halves the damage it takes as long as its HP is full, and an Ice Berry, which has an ice damage it takes. So instead we're going to slow it down with Rock Tomb and then strength it with my, which has 95 base power. My Tyranitar has Battle Armor, so it could not get crit. Tyranitar isn't going to die horribly. And that lets me bring in my fire Pokemon for free, which you might say isn't that good. Isn't this guy just going to use a water move? And that is correct. So we are going to swap. And the reason I have to do the swap is because I needed to use a water move on to my Jinx. And I need to swap into it. Because if my Jinx is not at full HP, it will just it might use Bite or Superpower to kill me. But because of my dry skin, which it uses a water move, I'm now at full HP, and the only move it sees as a kill is its water move, so it's going to keep using it. Normally the AI is supposed to detect when you have an immunity move and not an immunity ability and not do this, but dry skin is bugged. So that lets me set up Lucky Chant, which will prevent critical hits for a bit. And then I can kill this. And that means he's going to send in Blaziken. Blaziken will kill me with literally any move that it picks. But since it cannot do a crit, I can put in my Salamence, and with Intimidate, this will not kill me. And because it has Sheer Force, which gives it a massive amount of extra damage, it cannot burn me. So I can kill it with Fly, and then in is going to come Slacking. And this Slacking, unlike if you know normal Slacking, normally it can only move every 2 turns. In this game it has Guts instead, which lets it, which just means that if it's burned it gets way stronger, and it has no drawbacks. So I sent in my Jinx to die horribly because I needed to get an Intimidate off on this thing. And if I had swapped to my Aggron, who can actually take hits, then it might have gotten crit and things could have gone bad. And things can still go bad because it's faster than me, and so it has a chance to just flinch me over and over again. But I have Automatize, which is going to increase my speed, and it's also going to decrease my weight. And now that I'm faster than it, I have leftovers. He also has leftovers, so this could take a while. And I have rest. So even if he burns me, he can no longer flinch me because I'm faster than him. And he can, if he burns me, I can just heal it off with rest. And Rock Smash, if you aren't familiar with it, has a chance to lower defense. So I will eventually just win by sustaining through him. And fortunately, in this case, it doesn't take too long. The reason I had to send in my Jinx to die there is basically I needed this Intimidate to make sure, because a crit does 50%. So if he crit me twice, while I was sleeping, basically I could always die. As it is, he has to crit me 3 times while I'm sleeping. So I had to kill that thing with Aggron because otherwise, when Ditto comes in, it'll transform into whatever Pokemon I had out, and if it was a Salamence or a Gengar, things have gotten really nasty. Um, Now, Aggron can only use Season Rock Smash as its highest damaging move, so it's going to use that. Now I'm going to steal its Focus Sash, and the reason is because it can use either Metal, a Heavy Slam, or Automatize there, since it doesn't see a kill. And now that I have a Focus Sash, I can survive a crit. If it had used Metal Slam there, I could have swapped. I would have swapped instead. But now my Focus Sash is used up, and because it is lighter than me, because a Ditto copies my weight when it comes in from Automatize, it no longer kills my Typhlosion with 2 hits, or with 2 crits. It would need 3 hits, and I can and with after stealing the Focus Sash, I can guarantee get 3 hits off, or I can guarantee get my 2 hits off. Um, and now we're going to watch the plot. Alright, so Getsus leads with this Gengar that has Shadow Tag, and heals my Pokemon to full before the fight starts, so I sort of am stuck with these 2 Pokemon that I sacrificed, but I can't actually swap out because of the Shadow Tag. So this is why it wasn't a big deal to sacrifice Jinx, because he was going to die here no matter what. The rules in a Nuzlocke are that you just throw your Pokeball. If in a situation like this, you just throw Pokeballs until you die. I couldn't. You might think I could have actually killed him, but he has a Focus Sash as well. So even if I wasn't dead, that's the thing I could have done to save Jinx. So it's okay that he dies because then it's going to come my Gengar, and my Gengar is plus speed, which is really nice, and that means I can steal his Focus Sash, so that when he kills me, I'm going to live, and then of course I can kill him. And now it's going to come Gyarados. And Gyarados has an Electric Resist Berry, and I cannot risk a crit, because if I crit and kill this Gyarados, it is going to it's going to send in the wrong Pokemon. So instead, I'm just going to steal its Electric Berry and then die. And now that it has no Electric Resist Berry, I can send in my Salamence, who has Thunder Fang, which will one-shot it. And Salamence baits in the correct Pokemon, which is Metagross. And the reason I need Metagross in here is because he's going to use Ice Punch on my Salamence, and that is the only move that Typhlosion can come in on. And he can freeze me, but I have a Frozen Berry. And that means I can one-shot this Typhlosion with Blast Burn. In this game, Blast Burn is 140 power, but 25% recoil. And he's going to send in this guy, who I cannot quite one-shot, but I can chunk him out really low. And then that, since he's low enough now, my Salamence can come back in and use Outrage, and it will kill this guy. If I had crit this Armaldo, then I would have just changed the order of these last 2 Pokemon, but it doesn't really matter. And then my Salamence is actually faster than Rayquaza by default, and my Salamence has good enough speed IVs that he's not going to be any slower. So only Dugtrio is left. Dugtrio is faster than me and one-shots every Pokemon in my box. But you know what it doesn't one-shot? It can't one-shot Sturdy, and Dugtrio is squishy as things get, so one Heavy Slam will finish the deal. And that is it. That probably didn't sound as complicated as it was, but that was a monster of a fight. So I hope you enjoyed it.